back into history, we can go even further back and we can see how the Church of England came about. Charles is the head of the Church of England, will be when he becomes king. Defender of the faith. Now, how did this happen? Well, the Reformation happened in England, which was not yet united with Scotland, because of Henry VIII. Henry VIII was born in 1491, and his father arranged for his elder brother to marry the daughter of the King and Queen of Spain, Fernando and Isabel, and they, unfortunately, his older brother died. Henry became heir in his place, and his father then arranged the marriage between his brother's widow and himself. Now, the objective of this was clearly political. Spain was the strongest power in the world. England was a has-been country. It had its moments, but it was now very much in the back of nowhere. Spain had a population of probably at least 10 times that of England, at least, probably even more. So this was quite a coup. Catherine of Aragon didn't produce a son for Henry, and Henry used this as an excuse, because by 1527, when Henry was entertaining many of the young ladies of the court, his eyes settled on one, in particular Anne Boleyn. But Anne said, "No, you've got to marry me." And Henry, well, he had a bit of a problem, because Catherine of Aragon, who had once been a bit of all right, by this time apparently was wider than she was tall. She wasn't very attractive, and Henry, for reasons of his own sexual misdemeanors, decided he wants Anne. So he applies for a divorce. Unfortunately, the Pope can't give him a divorce, because the King of Spain has got his knife at his throat. He's occupying Rome. So the Pope can do nothing about it. Sorry, no divorce. 6 years of wrangling, failure, and in the end, Henry decides he's going to be the king of. He's not going to be the king, but he's also going to be the head of the church. Break with Rome. So the Church of England is founded on the basis of sexual misdemeanor outside marriage. And what Henry then went on to do was he changed his mind when he had enough of Anne Boleyn, which happened within 3 years. Not only that, Catherine of Aragon in the meantime died. He had Anne Boleyn judicially murdered. She was executed in 1536. He then went on to his next wife died natural causes after childbirth. His next wife he divorced pretty quickly because she was ugly. His next wife he murdered judicially again. So this is the basis of the Church of England. So to say that Charles cannot be king is absolutely and utterly absurd. Now, questions may be like, if he's fit to be a king, he does interfere. He interferes in politics, he interferes in things like architecture, which is well known. He interferes in things like, he's got this idea on homeopathic health, which is also well known. But these issues are not issues which, he should be effective. He shouldn't be interfering in the health service. I agree, absolutely, he should not be interfering in the health service. Not only that, he talks about energy, but he's extremely profligate. He wastes energy and resources, totally unlike his mother. But these are not issues. There is no reason whatsoever, by law or by tradition, that Charles should not be king. And if the fact that he is divorced should be a problem, it shouldn't be, because Henry isn't the only person who's head of the Defender of the Faith, head of the church, who was divorced. There were other people as well. Is the fact he betrayed his wife? Well, I'm sorry, this was extremely common. In fact, this was the norm once. the most blatant example being Edward VII. This is not a reason. There is no reason. And if we start deciding who can be king and who can't be, then we've got to start questioning why we have monarchy in the first place. If Charles was genuinely mad or something like that, as was George III for example, then okay, maybe there's an argument. But as it stands at the moment, there's not. I hope that one is clear.